Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch the short video, which I thought I would prepare for you to understand a little bit more around what Microsoft provide organizations, say from about 50 employees up, in terms of HRIS systems. Don't know what a HRIS system stands for? It stands for Human Resources Information System. It is where you can keep a record of all of your people, all of your people's electronic information secure in the cloud, and you can manage and administer the entire worker lifecycle from recruitment through to leaving the organization. Development, learning, analytics, performance, compensation, benefits, payroll, it is all within the one solution. Now, not a lot of people know that Microsoft actually have this solution. My name's Gareth. It's great to be here with you. There's a link to my profile. We're going to jump straight into the demo. So here I'm about to flash up a system. System is called Dynamics Finance and Operations. It actually is a modular-based business application system, and it contains all sorts of things, which is great when it comes to extensibility, because you've got everything in the one place. If you're buying HR, it means that you can then subsequently expand into expense management, purchase to pay, logistics. Depends on the nature of your organization. This system does everything. I am logged into the system solution with a system administrator password, which means I can see everything, okay? But if we were just doing this on HR, we'd have a tailored role, maybe a HR manager role, and a lot of these tiles you wouldn't necessarily see, but I've included them here today, so you get to experience the breadth and the depth of this business application, which I say is good, I would say, for organizations 50 plus inside from a HR point of view. It's not the only business application solution that Microsoft do in the ERP space, that's enterprise resource planning, but it is one of them. And I'm going to give you a quick overview of what human resources looks like. So here we've got a tiled experience. We can also navigate through to different experiences over here on the left hand ribbon, which is what I have gone through and put some of my favorites in there today. We're going to start off with our hat as an administrator of HR, and we'll go into the personnel management workspace. Now, there are numbers of different workspaces here within the system, and the system is actually built to accommodate multiple legal entities. We are in a demo system called USMF. You saw there that it was kindly providing us with a bit of a notification, which told us there are a whole bunch of new features. And this is really critical because with this solution, it updates itself. You don't have to go through these long periods of relying on your partners to do all the upgrades and everything else. Microsoft have a one version update solution. We always recommend for you to stick to standard as much as possible, otherwise it increases your total cost of ownership. One of the nice things about sticking to standard and getting the best of need and not necessarily the best of breed is that you don't have to go through all of this pain with version updates and everything else. It just stays there in the background. It keeps updating for you. You've always got the latest features available to you to switch on and off. So that's very important. Anyway, we're here in our personal management workspace. We can see a variety of bits of information about people that are coming into the organization, people that are leaving the organization. We can drill into different types of data and analytics. I'll take you into an employee record at the moment. But one of the super exciting things about this solution is its embedded analytics. If you are coming from nothing or something which is less than ideal, you can use standard data definitions straight from your single source of the truth, your HR database, and you get all of this out of the box. Lift the solution off the shelf, put your data into it. This information comes to life. You can see at the bottom here that we've got a number of different reports. But before we go through some of those, I will just say that this is a scalable interface. So it renders based on the size of your screen, and you can filter things based on legal entity here. We can actually embed Power Analytics into here as well if we want to, but this is all for free. There's no extra cost. It comes as part of your licensing. And look at this. We've got headcount analysis. We've got mapping components in here, full-time equivalent analysis, the demographics of our workforce, what languages they speak, some of their protected characteristics, what positions are open, who is in which position or across the organization, when did they start? And let's have a look to see from a budgeting perspective, how many open positions that we've got in the organization gives us a really good idea of the types of things that we might be looking for on a day-to-day basis. So I'm just going to click through these very quickly so you can see. See it's multilingual as well. It will accept all sorts of different languages, which we can select and change as our user preference from the top. Average years of tenure, employee anniversaries. This is great for those awards, where you get that thing that you have to do maybe every year, where you produce a list, go through the list. It's all there. It's all there for you. Now, as I said, this is all protected under our HR administrative point of view. So all the information is nice and secure. Now, what we'll also do is take a look at the people workspace. So you might be doing this if you were a team member, someone who's responsible for people in the organization. And here we just get a very nice overview of who our line manager is, who we are. You can see you can embed photos in here as part of this. You can link it up. It integrates with Azure Active Directory, or otherwise known as Entra nowadays. We can take a look at people's key information, their leave and absence, and that sort of thing. I'm going to change hats quickly as we're talking about what we can see as a manager, a worker. Click on self-service. It's got full self-service functionality. And you can see here that we've got the latest features from Microsoft Copilot AI as well, which also enhances this. And some of the enhancements that are available to us are supercharged AI recruitment. So I really love this because it's such a headache. All of those CVs, all those resumes that you get coming into your organization, this solution can bring them all together and auto create profiles for you. But as a standard worker, we get to see all sorts of rich information. So we quite often find that people like your good selves don't want to see all of this from day one. Maybe you want to switch bits on and off as you go through your rollout of enabling your success. And you can absolutely do that. You can hide some of these tiles. But again, let's see what we have got here as part of this solution for you. We have our time off balances. We have our timesheets. We have tasks that are due for us. We have the courses which are due for us to undertake. We can see the different types of reviews. These might be reviews as part of performance. They might be reviews as part of development. They might be onboarding, transition, offboarding reviews. This is all fully configurable, as is all of this data. Certificates, what have we got? What are our performance goals? What are our skills? Skills in the loosest sense here, because it actually covers multiple competency frameworks, multiple rating models. And again, all of that is fully configurable for you. What else can we drill into here? Well, we've got benefits statements. This could be your pensions, essentially anything where there's an employer contribution. You might want to use this as part of your overall look and feel for total or full compensation statements. We can drill into a lot of these via the areas here, by these hyperlinks too. We've got the basics in here as well. You know, we can edit our details. So if you are going through your paper exercises or whatever it is, just get this out there. Say, well, you can update your information yourself. You know, means that people don't have to key it in. But we've got our addresses there, multiple different address frameworks across a global, across all countries, I believe. Contact details, different contact details. This could be social media, phone, email address, as we can see here, personal contacts, next to kin, that type of thing. This also links into benefits management as well. If we're administering our benefits that way and we want to flag that our partner is eligible, or our children, and those sorts of things. Our IDs. So what identifications? And again, this can be set up to be read-only, but it could be set up that you add these things in here yourself as part of the onboarding process. Many of these things can be set up with a workflow. Your payment methods, so your bank details, and your image is in here as well. So let me just bring you back to this page, because one thing we haven't gone into here is what we can see as a manager. So if you have a manager role, it will know who's in your team. And this is great. Look, we can see Benjamin, Chris, Kevin, Salman. They're all in our team. We can drill into their details, get this full holistic picture of what's going on, full visibility and transparency against the things which we have enabled our users to see. And some fantastic stuff here, again, to really empower managers and to enable their team. What recruitment projects, what pending requests have they got come through? I mentioned the workflows. Well, those workflows, they enable email notifications. They enable notifications to be pushed through from teams, so you can really start to consider what that experience looks like for your frontline workers. And let's face it, most of us might not be walking around with a laptop under our arm, but we do have these devices. So we might want to just quickly scan through, see what our approvals are. We know that this is a scalable form. We can use components of this separate, in a separate UI, such as leave and absence. There's an app for that. But all this information is contained in the same place. So you might get different lenses, different experiences for your user personas, but all of the information is in the one place. Single source of truth, no data silos, and that is pretty exciting. We get to see a leave and absence calendar across our team. We can even go through and start to see assessments on our team and what their strengths are in terms of their skills and competencies. We might be having conversations with people to see, you know, what their aspirations are in terms of where they want to go. So with Aaron, for example, he wants to become an accounting manager, very important role. We can quickly update that, and it's saying, well, actually, Aaron hasn't at the moment got any actual skills in accounting, budgeting, cash flow management, or Excel. But these would be his target. So, you know, we can bring all that information through as part of the conversations and experience that we are having with people. Lots and lots of information in here. Now, I am going to jump through to our HR space in a minute, but just to give you an example, you know, we had that workspace for personnel management. There are a number of these different workspaces again for your power users. So if you are a leave and absence administrator, maybe you want to see overall what that looks like, who's enrolled in which plans. Again, we've got analytics embedded and supporting each one of these workspaces here. And you can see this is just refreshing with the demo data that we've got. And again, multiple different tabs here on the types of information that you might need. But let's jump through to HR. These are all the modules that I mentioned. So yeah, all sorts of rich functionality in here to enable you to stretch out beyond HR, or even you might be using some of this already and not know that you can use HR. The chances are, if you are using this already, then actually you will be using components of HR. And it could be that this is a cost improvement for you to bring it all in centrally. Here we are, though. This is, again, us with our HR administrator sort of hat on. And these are all the things that we can see in here. Now, this is an area that we would typically go through and do some of the setup in, but at least you can see the types of flexibility that you've got in here and the types of things that we can set up. And I'll just scroll over there to the right-hand side so you can see this a little bit clearer. Use defined links and self-service, different processes, different courses, all fully configurable. And certainly when it comes to our approach here, we're very much keen on empowering and enabling yourselves to set some of this up yourself. So we don't like getting locked into these. No, we can't touch that. That's Jack's job. No, we're very much aligned to Microsoft's vision to empower and enable everyone on the planet. And that begins even at this grassroots level of enabling you to make changes to the system yourself. I did say we're going to a worker record. Those are some of the workspaces that we have. Let's jump into an employee record. Again, nothing confidential here, all demo data. It's a list view. Get a lot of these list views in the solution. They work a bit like a spreadsheet. You can chip and change things around. You can shift it around. We can filter these lists. We can add in new columns. Let's jump to Alicia's record. You can automatically see here that actually what we've got along the top is all of the depth of information that we can see on the person's record. So I'm going to skim through this. This is obviously a recording. You can slow it down and see what that looks like as we progress through the video. But let's just give you a quick overview. What we've got here is a ribbon where we can drill into many of the areas. There's quite often more than one way of getting to some information. It really depends on user preference. We have a tab-based information here. And if we scroll down, then we've got these expandable and collapsible sections to give us a view. So worker summary, some of this we've already seen in self-service, but this is just seeing it from a HR point of view, the name details or people point of view, their addresses, contact information, personal information, show more fields. We have got some of the protected characteristics. What if we need an extra field? That's super easy as well. We can personalize. We can add a field in as an administrator. Skill mapping, whether we want to include these people in skill mapping, we've got their full work history. We know if they've got multiple positions, we've got multiple terms and conditions, all of that can be in here. And again, once we bring it up, we've got a different tabular view. We can use cost centers, or otherwise known as analysis codes, or in the context of Dynamics financial dimensions, all again, fully configurable. The benefit details, what positions that they have been in or what they are in. If you are using modern point of sales, this is a full retail system, which it can extend into as well if you want it to be. Also a clock in and clock out system. It's not needed for all clients, but I'm just giving you a flavor of all of the flavors that are available within this business application. And then let's go along the top. We have typical personnel actions. So if we want to change a position, terminate a worker, etc. Now we can set those up with or without workflows. It depends on how much control that you really want to have within the system. We can see all the work history, the date effective changes that have been made on the record. We look at the person themselves, worker. We can see things like their skills, their certificates, their tests, previous education. This is a full leave and absence system. It's got a highly configurable rules engine, which caters for, I would say, 90% of the different leave and absence rules and regulations that I have seen on a global basis. Compensation, multi-currency. It deals with structured compensation structures, which are very common in not-for-profit, public sector organizations, and it will deal with spot salaries as well. So just putting in whatever salary you need. Labor union relationships. If you were linking this through to a payroll system, it can be used to process all of your earning codes, your taxes, etc. You'll quite often find that on a local basis in each country, there might be a little bit of an extension to enable the compliance elements around the payroll pieces here. But in terms of information, a lot of that can be stored in here. We do have benefits. Benefits extend to US-centric things like affordable care coverage, but also we can keep a list in here of what assets people have been given as well as part of their benefits package. Some compliance pieces in there. So we've got case management, again, in the US, Family Medical and Leave Act, accommodations. So any adjustments, reasonable adjustments for people's impairments that we might have made to make them more comfortable working. Really, really important. An accident book. If you're in the UK, you could use this as your health and safety, your accident reporting book. Again, you can have cases around that. Time. So different flavors of capturing time. We can capture it on MPOS, modern point of sale systems, like you get in shops. It could be a clock in, clock out system. There's some interfaces for that. It could just be a timesheet, regular timesheet. All those things are very, very important, particularly in like European jurisdictions, California, where the capture of time and making sure that people are being managed equitably according to the rule of law can all be put into here. Links to projects. There's a whole project management component to this as well, where people, they're not resources, but people can be managed appropriately to give them a suitable work-life balance, make sure that they aren't over or underutilized on projects to enable the success for your organization. I mentioned commerce, things up there around commerce, and also expense management is here as well. So lots and lots of different features that are covered. Now, I will just show you this, go back to our workflows. So one thing that we can do in here is if you ever do get lost, you can go up there and use this search bar. It's quite neat. And we're going to go to workflows because I really want to give you a flavor, an idea of the different types of workflows that we get in the system. So here are some of the ones that are set up. Worker actions hire, termination, transfer, all of those. But if we go to new, click on new, these are all the different types of workflows that we had. And it's fully flexible. We can really do lots and lots within the logic of the workflow, routing to different people, routing to line managers, having auto escalation, having auto approve or decline based on the conditionality that is passed as variables to each of these workflows. Leave and absence, buying, selling of leave, course registrations. So maybe we're saying, tell you what, just go on self-service, tell us what course you want to go on to, our workflow goes to the manager. Creation of courses, maybe you want some control around that internally as part of your leadership and development management or organizational development functions. All of that can be done. IDs, certificates, reviews, loaned items, personnel actions. As I said earlier, this could be things like, we're just making a change to the employee record. Now that can be driven by a manager making a change. Quite often you'll find in an organization, it's like, oh, well, they've changed position, they've done X, Y, or Z. What do we do? Oh, you fill in a form, then we pass that form to someone in a central department, and they look at the form, and then they type it all in. It's completely inefficient. Here, you can drive that form, you can capture once, you can approve, and the changes go straight into the system. Hiring workers. Again, maybe we're letting a manager hire workers and we need some approval. All sorts of flexibility here around the design to meet your needs as an organization. Exactly. So hopefully that has given you some sense as to the different types of setup flexibility that we have here within the entire HR, Dynamics HR area. Let's just see if there's anything else in here I want to call out. An important area is recruitment management. This has had a lot of enhancements lately. We're not going to go into the new features. I'm more than happy to do that in another video. But here, again, we can use the strength of things like Microsoft Copilot AI to really help and improve us in the management of different projects that we're running for recruitment. You can set up small automations through extensibility to post to your favorite job boards. Quite often that's a case-by-case consideration, but super easy for us to do because all of this is now at our hands to enrich and enhance with things like the Power Platform. So we talked about Power BI, but you've also got Power Automate. You've got Power Apps, and you can blend and mix all of that up in here without significant development costs. And that is more true now than it ever has been, because many of those things you might have had to get people in and say, oh, it's going to take X days to do a Power App. Now you can use Copilot, you can use natural language, and you can say, Copilot, create me a Power App that captures X, Y, and Z for this business process, and it will go off. And in a matter of minutes, it will come up with all the different user stories. It will come up with the app. It will come up with the data model, and something that may have taken days can now be created in a matter of hours. Hopefully, you have found that useful. I'm very grateful for you spending time with me, watching this video. If we can be of any help, then please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We're all about making a positive impact at Lightrise, and be very grateful if you'd spend a couple of seconds as part of the review in this video today. You want to get your phones. We provide a scaling % of our success back to all 17 of the UN Sustainable Goals. You can check out our website. There's a nice little tracker on there. But if you take your phones and scan that QR code in, we are a business for good, and you will be able to contribute to a choice of 4 fantastic projects which we've put out there for you. So once again, thank you in advance. It's great to see you, and I look forward to speaking to you all soon.